All right, let's just jump right in. What if I told you that the key to building real wealth, it's not about landing some huge promotion or a massive salary bump. Nope. It's actually a really simple but super powerful shift in how you look at the money that's already hitting your bank account. And that's exactly what we're going to break down right now. So, does this sound familiar? Your paycheck comes in, you pay all the bills, maybe you go out for a nice dinner or two, and then only then do you look at what's left over and think, okay, I guess this is what I can save. It's kind of the default setting for almost everyone.
I mean, really think about it for a second. The second that money hits your account, there's already a line out the door of people and companies just waiting to get paid. Amazon, your car loan, the landlord. Literally everyone gets a piece of your pie before you even think about taking a slice for yourself.
And that cycle, well, that's the financial trap that keeps so many people stuck. But here's the good news. There is a way to get out of it. We're about to show you exactly why this is holding you back, and more importantly, how you can completely flip the script.
So first up, let's really dig into this common money trap. This is the financial behavior most of us just absorb from the world around us. It's a trap you can fall into without even knowing you're in it. When you boil it all down, every single dollar you ever make has only three places it can possibly go. You can save it, you can spend it, or you can grow it. That's it. Just three choices. The real secret is all about which one of those you decide to do first. For most of us, spending is priority number one, and this creates what you could call a net zero spending mindset. Basically, every dollar that comes in is already mentally spent on something going out. Income in equals expenses out. It's the perfect way to make sure you stay right where you are, financially speaking.
Okay, so what's the fix? What's the antidote to this trap? Well, it all comes down to one single, incredibly powerful rule. A rule that totally changes the game.
And here it is. This is the whole thing right here. The first rule of building wealth is to pay yourself first. Before anyone else gets a penny, not Amazon, not the car company, nobody, you get paid. It's not about saving what's left over. It's about building your wealth with the very first chunk of your money.
Let's be real for a second. The big corporations are going to be just fine without that one more thing you were about to click buy on. This question just flips the whole thing on its head. This isn't about feeling deprived. It's about prioritizing your own future over another company's bottom line. All right, let's make this super, super clear. We're going to look at two completely different ways of thinking, both starting with the exact same income, just to see how wildly different the results are. So check this out. This is how most people operate. Even with a pretty hefty income, 10 grand a month, look where it goes. It's instantly eaten up by big ticket items. A big mortgage, fancy cars, a couple of nice trips. And just like that, poof, it's all gone. There's literally nothing left to actually build wealth. And this is such a critical point. The person in that last example probably looks super successful from the outside, right? But looking rich and being rich are not the same thing. This quote just nails it. It's an illusion. Now, let's see how the wealthy mindset flips this on its head. Same $10,000 income, but the first question isn't, what can I buy? It's, what can I build? And look at this. A full half of the income, right off the top, goes to work in assets, stocks, index funds, real estate. The specifics don't matter as much as the action. Then they live on what's left. And hey, before you start thinking, well, I don't make 10 grand a month, just stop. That's not the point. The numbers are just here to make it clear. This principle, this mindset, works at any income level. You just scale the numbers. The strategy is exactly the same. Pay yourself first, and then build your life around what's left.
Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, right? But let's look at a real-world example of how this can completely change your life. This is that moment when it all just clicks. This is such a great example of this principle in action. The author found an asset that was just sitting there, doing nothing, an empty family home. They invested some money out front to furnish it and get it ready, and boom, it started generating passive income from Airbnb bookings. But here's the genius part. They took the profits from that first property and used them to fund the next one. It becomes a cycle that feeds itself. Let's be really, really clear on what we mean here. Passive income is not your paycheck. A paycheck is you trading your time for money. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. True passive income is when your assets make money for you, whether it's stocks or real estate or a business you own. It's money that works for you 24/7, even when you're sleeping. And that, my friends, is the absolute game changer. So once you really get this, your whole goal shifts. You're not just trying to save a little money anymore. You're actually systematically building a a machine that generates your freedom. You start to think in a totally different way, not just in dollars, but in units of freedom. So, using that Airbnb example, one rental unit turns into a predictable $500 a month. It's a real, tangible piece of your freedom machine.
And this is where the magic really happens. This is scaling, getting that second unit, and then a third. It starts to compound. Now, look, this doesn't happen overnight, but fast forward a few years, and 10 of those units could be bringing in $5,000 a month. For a lot of people, that's enough to cover all their bills. And if you keep that machine running, well, you can see the potential. A portfolio of 100 units, or the equivalent in stocks, could generate an incredible income. The game completely changes. Your focus shifts from what you earn to what you own. And that right there is the end game. This isn't about being cheap forever. It's about building a portfolio of assets that churns out enough passive income to pay for your entire lifestyle. Because when your investments pay your bills, going to work becomes a choice, not a requirement. That is what real financial freedom looks like.
I just want to leave you with this one thought because it wraps everything up so perfectly. Every single time you invest your money, you are literally buying a piece of your future. You're buying a day that you won't have to work. So the real question is, what are you going to buy with your next paycheck?